Hi, Igor. How are you?
Hello, Naida. Very happy to be here.
Yes, happy to have you here and see you again. So sad that you couldn't come.
That's the time, very interesting time we live in.
Yeah, and we like to swing with whatever life brings.
We have no
So
choice.
I will give you now space for your sharing, and then I will be back for the question of our audience. And thank you again for being here.
I'm happy. I would be here anyway. As Naida said, I'm jumping in for Dima here. And it is very spontaneously for me to show it now here up and talk and present the talks that can be interesting and useful for you. It's a big challenge. And I invite everyone, if you feel like it, to ask state questions, because it is most interesting. It is mostly interesting when we can speak actually with each other. Okay, since I have no plan of actually what to tell you here right now, I thought I'm just basically going to play that role here that is presenting itself to me and tell you my let's say pranic journey. You will find no video where I claim to be or name myself a breatharian. But here now I will tell you kind of the story about me, about my pranic path. In advance, I want to explain to you a little bit so you have a background, a bigger context about me, a little bit. You may have recognized me showing or popping up in the esoteric scene of breatharianism and other topics that connect with it in the last 5 years or so. So popping up with art, popping up with breatharianism, with translation. I started by working with Olga Podorovskaya for 2.5 years, for 3 years. Yeah, no, yeah. I have been translating, organizing in her translating, organizing her methods, her teachings, her program. And yes, so I want to say with that is that I'm so to say, I'm very versed in this topic. I know ins and outs. I know many people who are the speakers personally. I also have experienced and conducted and observed and guided people through this process of transformation. So I want to say I have experienced what I speak about. My words are based on experience. And what you may be hearing from me more seldom is when I speak about the universal language. The universal language is for me like the pranic topic for Breatharian. So this is actually what I love to speak about. But the point with the universal language is that, you see, based on my experience or based on experience of an individual, we may not find a contact with each other because we are using different languages. That's why the universal language is the most interesting topic for me. That's what I am living in my life. So this is, so to say, my prana. So the language is very important because I want the words are being based on experience and not have need in further translations, because we can get lost in this translation, in words, about words, about words, about words. This can go endlessly. So this is important to understand. that first I have experience, but secondly, mostly interesting for me is how I speak. Because I have a different point of view and I'm criticizing a lot, many things. But if you think there is an argument, I wouldn't agree on that. I think that beyond all the different words, different cultures, different personalities, we are all interested in the same. So when I speak about breatharianism, I'm basically speaking about life without food. So because this is reflecting the experience that I'm interested in the most. Originally, I was, of course, not interested in life without food. As I said, universal language is what is motivating me. And I guess this is the same for every one of us. We all have our own culture, of our own place to take care for. And this is simply how life happens, that it is an adventure that roots us out completely if we manage to halt, to stand still, to come in the presence completely, even for one moment. Today, I'm connecting and expressing my path through art. Basically, it looks like this, just so you understand, again, a bigger context. For example, just a client I have been working with, let's say client, it's a friend of mine. She said that she's interested to create a book about her own experience that she wants to dedicate for children. And sometimes people come to me and they want to implement a topic about health into art. Sometimes people come and they want, sometimes people find me and they want to implement a topic about spirituality into art. This time it was a topic for children into art. And the most crucial point why I'm actually telling this all here is because universal language for myself connects everything beyond time, space, and form. So art is for me the key to launch our own creative power, which means that the creative power concerns also the control of our own biochemistry. So here I'm speaking about life without food or breatharianism or all the other terms which are used in different cultures. Well, that's the last thing. The last thing that I want to say is before I start with my story. When I call people idiots, so when I say that this or the other one is an idiot, I do not mean that the ability to think logically is low, is underdeveloped with this one person. I mean that currently at this moment, the one is following an idea and is therefore an idiot because he lives in his own ideology. Sometimes it's lit up. I have forgotten to warn people in advance about it. So I'm also myself an idiot very often. So don't be offended, I want to say. As I said, we have different terms we are using different terms, but we are all interested in the same, I guess. I believe, or that's what I see. Okay, my breatharian journey, which I'm going to tell only here and now. Any other time, I will not refer to it as a breatharian journey, but let's now create this kind of an adventure story. It starts when I was 18 years old. Um, I was always kind of a creative, let's say, personality. So I was always drawing a lot, never had actually many friends, was always by myself, somehow doing things which I even don't understand myself. And when I was 18, I started to write stories. So I have been painting before that, and with 18 years old, I started to write. I started to write diaries. So just putting my thoughts out of my head. Because at some moment I understood that my body is simply writing on its own these stories within me, which I don't even know. It's not like, it's like improvisation, like theater that is improvised. You give them a few points and they play along. They create a play. Same as was for me when I was 18 years old. Before that with paintings, but at that moment when I was 18 years old, when I was writing. And when my body writes, I'm not thinking. I'm not thinking about, so when I'm painting this still today, or when I'm writing, I don't even think about what I write, or am I thirsty? Is it interesting? Is it good? Am I sleepy? Am I tired? So let's call this here pranic art, okay? When I'm so much in love with something that I don't need external supply of energy, let's put it like this. With 18 years old, when I was writing in my diary and simply observing what is happening, not what I'm writing, then suddenly I was enlightened. Okay, this is a legend. I mean, this is a legend. I was enlightened. I don't know how to explain this. I spaced out. So one moment I was sitting here, the next moment I was in some abstract universe where I understood the universal language, the picture that I want to draw. So the universal language is actually a painting. When you look at it, you are deprogramming your mind, because the painting is created in a natural way. So it is according to natural law. You can say it is something like sacred geometry, but put into action. And this is what I saw when I was 18 years old. So today I don't have a question of how to do it. I'm simply observing. And I have painted this already. But there will be another painting, like let's say like a final painting, a perfect painting where all my knowledge is condensed. And I understood when I was 18 years old that the heck, this is all I want to do in my life. And I must admit, I'm one of my kind. So what in what I'm doing, every new work of art that I create is a new high in my ascension, my achievement, also in my personal growth. It took me a decade to accept that. Okay, and I'm not going now into all these kinds of talks about, let's say, development and cleansings and emotional cleansings, emotional alchemy, however you want to call it. I want So let's put this all aside. Of course, there's material that is challenging me to change myself in the way I want. And this material is not the question, it is the answer to how to achieve it. So when I understood it with 18 years old, yeah, or young, I thought, yeah, so this is basically the answer. There's no end to it, and I am already doing it my whole life. So I have recognized myself in it completely. So it came just this way that from there on, I kind of on different educations. So the life went on, and I had my first education degree in fine arts. So I am a master of fine arts. When people ask me what's your art, are you a painter? Are you make you videos? I tell them I make masterpieces because my degree is master, and pieces or works of art is what is done. So I make masterpieces. You come to me what you are interested, share with me what you're interested in, and yeah, we just put it into action, into connection. It took 6 years to study. 6 years I was studying fine arts. And then I started to travel. I was and I would love again to become a traveling artist. So I have been tenting in the nature. I have been playing music in the streets. I have been workawaying, translating, and just, kind of, yeah. Back then, the world looked a little bit different. As I said, I would love to go again for it, but first I need to do to finish some tasks here at the moment. Let's say 2 years. I was traveling like this 2 years. Let's put it like this, something like 2 years. Then I came in contact with Olga Podorovskaya. The huge advantage that I had with Olga was that um, I had the chance to not only learn theoretically what we are speaking here about. The most important was that I had the chance to experience this with other people right away. So, like literally everything, the good moments, the bad moments, the stupid moments, moments of success, moments of celebration, and this is probably yeah, I loved this. I was very happy in doing it, but after 3 years of learning all the ins and outs of this business, I understood that I want to do things my way. The reason is simple. From a certain degree on, every one of us turns into his own master. So we have like different areas in our life which we have mastered, other areas we have like learned habitually. But there is also always the desire to lose all hindrance completely. So everything that holds me back, to lose it completely. The amount of fear that I was facing was showing me the reward, the worth, the reward I could get. logically, I started not only to learn with other people, but I started also to practice it all by myself. In the first place, there was meditation. It's like when the point is, there was not one technique that I've been practicing. As I said, the universal language, we all are speaking different languages, but the core experience is the same. That's somehow something that I'm doing. So it's what I feel. That's how I put it. Okay, I wasn't practicing a certain kind of a meditation. I'm sorry if this is going to be fast now. Okay, I just put it short. If I was taught I have to execute for 15 or 20 or 30 minutes one and the same action, like pranayama, meditation, fasting, diets, whatever, I started to go crazy. I started like to oppose it right away because there was something that I identified as not necessary, but only because it was a habit. Only because I had to sit down and to repeat something that ultimately started to really bore me. I fuck me up, to be precisely. So I really like destroy my own spontaneous ability. Oh, yeah, question. I'm gonna sum it up fastly, and then I would like to, or rather, no, I would follow what Naida said. I will put the questions in the end. After that, so after the meditation, so practice, it's not the moment that when I started with Olga that I started to practice. I was practicing before that. We are all breathing our whole, we eat our whole life. We are practicing our whole life. We don't need actually to learn any practice. That's my point. We need to understand. I needed to understand how my body works, and I have seen the possible ways, and I had, so to say, I was given the keys to success. Let's put it like this. And as I said, what I found out is that the success is worth the habit. So I couldn't do it. Let's put it like this. After 1 year of meditation with my head brain, I got myself so much that I couldn't even normally interact anymore with people because I had such a strong expectation kind of built up. But after the practice with my psyche, I had started to practice with after the practice with I started to practice with diets. The same thing had repeated itself. After 1 year, I tried to adapt my body at life so strongly, which is not possible, that I'm literally running into dangers, literally life-threatening dangers. I think it's important to mention this, that what the topic that we are doing, it's concerning the, if you're doing things right, people can, there are very bad outcomes. So it is important to speak and to connect with each other and to exchange always, no matter what opinion we have. So I had such a situation in my life that showed me how deep of an idiot I am. After this, the same thing repeated itself with breathing, with the practice of breathing. And after this, with sexuality, with tantra. So somehow, going through all these, let's say, challenges, adventure, after 3 years, I understood that what I really cannot deal with anymore is the ideology. As I said in the beginning, I want my words to be based on action, so reflecting action, instead of words reflecting other words endlessly, so that we can conquer and divide endlessly. It was not working with me. So what I'm basically speaking about today is, as I said, simply how the body works. And let's sum it up. As I said, I'm reaching new highs on every step. So I'm successful with what I'm doing for myself. And this all lead me to understand how I can interact, support my own biochemistry. Like literally, all the like, how can I put it into one word? Like, getting rid of the habits, getting rid of the ideas of when to eat, of how to breathe, of what to say, of what to think, and simply tuning into this original life. Because you don't need to learn what life is. Life is just life, live it. So learn it by that. All these achievements made me understand how I can interact with my biochemistry and move into the direction of life without food. Okay, you see, the way I speak, there is no mystery in it. It's very important for me to tell it very clearly. There is no mystery in it. Every special effect that we may discuss, for me, when I explain it, when I understand it, when I look at the truth, it becomes natural. So for me, achieving, let's say, life without food does not mean that we have to learn something but it means that we have to unlearn something, that we have to return back to nature. That's what I'm doing today. I'm concerning food. Okay, breatharianism is about food. Yes, so it's not about food. Okay, breatharianism is not about food. It's about I mean, now autonomy is about food. Breatharianism is about now ascension of consciousness due to lightening up diet. Concerning this regime, like for example, I'm conducting experiments on myself. So when I'm doing intermittent fasting, which I'm doing like for, I don't know, 3 to 5 years now, I'm making measurements of my daily blood glucose, of my urine, of my condition in general, and then I'm of my weight, of my water in the body, and then I'm discovering lots of useful insights, which I'm also sharing publicly and for free. And I hope it is useful. If you're interested in it, get onto it. So I'm happy to. I'm happy to find support by people who are interested in the same area, because I need you to stay true, not to speak constantly about my own ideas. And yeah, just to make this, to finish this, okay, I know it doesn't sound mystically. I know it doesn't sound like I went through a magical. I know it doesn't sound mystically. I know it doesn't sound like I went through a magical process. And I'm not saying that I'm in opposition to it. I'm criticizing it a lot, yes. And I can speak about physiology very profoundly. But again, I'm not in opposition. I'm just sharing another point of view. Yeah, I forgot what I wanted to say, actually. The point that I want to say here is, today you can say I'm into this regime of intermittent fasting, where I'm not eating 3 to 4 days. I'm on water. I'm on a special water, not simply just water. So I'm kind of preparing it. 3 to 4 days, and then 2 to 3 days like liquids and maybe raw, and then it repeats itself. So basically on the weekend, if I'm invited somewhere, then I'm eating with people. On from Monday to Wednesday or Thursday, I'm not eating. So on water. And as a result, just so the path of Breatharian, this transformation is kind of at some point, as a result, I have learned how to maintain my weight and even to grow it on water. So it happens that after 3 days fasting on water, sometimes I am gaining a little bit of weight in the end. Okay, the reason why I'm not going far when if people wonder now why, again, from my position here, because I have so much ideas in my head, I'm carrying so much many expectations with myself, and I have learned not to create new tensions in order to get rid of previous ones. So concerning Breatharianism, that's what I'm doing today, and now I'm finishing this story because I'm not a Breatharian. I like very much the structure that Nicholas has put. I like the possibility to find yourself on different levels. So it makes people easier to jump to a next step of transformation, because very often people are chasing after ideas and they try to jump over a set of steps. And this simply takes so much time to simply to cleanse ourselves from that. Yes, so I can go now into details. I can go into many topics. I would like to answer the questions. At least there's one question. So maybe Naida, you can. What do you say?
I say thank you so much, and I also say that yes, we like the magical and mystical, but we also like a lot the rational kind of journey. I did for you. Sorry, I'm walking around Iesi town in the historical center, so you can also see Italy from my perspective.
Yes.
So, Egor, do you think we all are born Breatharians and the belief system of our parents make us addicted to food?
No. We are born as images of the source, our original prime ancestor, which I like to refer to as nature. Some other people say God. And during our lifetime, we choose different paths which are reflecting our material, which this body is built out of. And therefore, we are attracted by such a path as Breatharianism. Someone else is into Qigong, someone else is into science. So we are not born Breatharians. If the question is, if the body by birth has the capability to live with food, yes. It is messed up over generations, yes. And I would say here that if you are interested to cleanse this past history of generations, then today it is not enough to fall in love with yourself and to cleanse yourself from physical, let's say, genetically modified material that is being pumped into our body if you live in the city constantly. But you need to learn how to create with your own nature given powers by the body new structures in your body. So you have to learn to use, let's say, yeah, the abilities by the body, they are endless. I mean, come on, we are speaking here about life without food, so clairvoyance, third eye, telepathy, telekinesis, it all is possible. So But as I said, so we need to relearn that, and it is happening right now. I guess I did answer the question.
Yes, thank you. You definitely answer. And the next question is about food addiction, because probably also in your life journey you had to deal with food addiction, and how did you manage them?
Um, it may be surprising, but by thinking. Um, the thing with addiction is, for me personally, is either it creates tensions for myself or not. So some addictions are actually useful. Of course, not endlessly useful, but for a certain period of span, I have created them in order to support myself. When I see that that I'm addicted to something that I really don't like, for example, right now I have a problem with cigarettes. Honestly, um, every time I smoke, I feel that my body doesn't want it. On the other side, there is something that is creating this desire in my head. What, as I said, all I do, really, all I do is thinking, communicating with the source of this addiction. Endlessly, I'm penetrating myself. I'm getting myself on my nerves. I'm not letting go until I find the reason for that, which may be simply that I like to be in the image of my parents. And in that case, I would come to the answer that, okay, so I don't want, so I grow up, so I don't need that anymore. I can create something else. But all of it, I have to think, I have to understand it. I have to create this neuronal pattern in my head brain that further changes. And when this change did happen, then all the physical cleansings are coming by themselves. So, for example, doing sport activity, or simply smoking less, or not not eating heavy food, because sometimes my body calls for smoking in order to rebalance a certain biochemical, another emotional lack of something that I usually would stuff up with food. The same goes for food. When I see that I'm hungry, like sweets, I'm hungry at sweets. I'm started to ask myself why. I start to think until I come to a conclusion that my body is resonating with. And if this is the right answer, then from that moment on, magically, I will see my life rearranging itself by itself. And the only thing that I need to do is not to be an idiot and to put my ideas on this development of this on this transformation, but to listen to my body further. This for literally everything, and I have made my own insights, which, as for today, are like keys. So let me put it like this: concerning the diet, fasting, and breathing. Okay, meditation. Let's put it like this: concerning fasting and breathing in the first place, I can observe and change these things quite surely, profoundly on myself and on some of the people that are resonating with what I say. But as I said, this is the first step for me when I have any addiction with food, especially, yes, first thinking, but it's not a process that started yesterday. And after that, everything else, my body does it by itself. It's a miracle. It's not my job here on earth to care for it, for this process of transformation. It is not natural. It is, I mean, just look how beautiful everything is. It's beyond anything that I that I can ever understand. Trying to understand it is like, I'm sorry, I'm getting into deep into it, but there's like the creator, the source, and you can love the source, but you can also love the creation, the objects which the source has created. Okay, so this is a misconcept, this is a misguide, and yeah. So I hope I answered something like with this.
Yes, thank you, Igor. Also to remind us of the intelligence of our body and the intelligence of life itself. Yes. Thank you so much. We don't have more questions, so I
there's one. There's one.
Yeah, but I can't really interpret this question. But if you can interpret it, go for it.
Is art always the answer before everything is creation and observation? I'm sorry, but now I have to state here my definition of art. Okay, it's threefold. Art is how to put it in English. It's right. So it is right. Whatever is done as an action, as a thought, emotion, or action, whatever, it is right. So it is needed. The second is long-lasting. So the moment is right, and what I've done, it is actually resonating with nature, so it will survive. So therefore, it is continuing its path. And the third one is natural. So it is like not artificial, not technological. It's natural. It is something that we are born with. So naturality, rightfulness, and long-lastingness. These are the three pillars on which I define art. And if they come together, I feel like there's an endless fire within me that is ignited by the world. Like the world is the source for my fire. It is like the wood bricks for my fire within me. And at that moment, for me, yes, art is the answer for everything is creation or observation. So before duality takes place, art is the answer. Because it shows me the direction for the attraction of what I love but haven't met yet. So it is a desire. It is based on my talent. When I'm young, when I'm 10 years old, I may know what my talent is, but I may not know what it has to be used for. Therefore, I'm attracted towards something or some experience. I may get lost in the middle of it or something like this, but I will come. So if I follow my talent, so I'm speaking here, I'm basically describing the way I'm living. And therefore, yeah, it is before everything else, because only when I step out of this regime or this mode, I start thinking about creation and observation, so duality. And duality is a huge topic because it's an endless topic, because everything that we are building on in this world of the mind is in the first place built on duality. Not because it's our nature, but because we are educated in the system. It's just our belief, just education, and we are changing it today, right now. Oh, the next question is, what are your next steps in Breatharian way? How much time do I have? 10 minutes, something like this. You see, it is the most interesting time we live in right now here. The more I think about this time here right now, the more I have a conflict in myself. I really wonder, I'm sorry to put it like this, but am I an idiot, a complete idiot, or is this all actually happening here right now, so on Earth? Is this actually happening, or am I really or am I an idiot? So because if things are happening the way, so if the apocalypse is taking place here on Earth right now, okay, then this means that the breatharian way, let's put it like this, the breatharian way of lightening up the diet is a way that I cannot afford to not pay attention to, at least in terms of uh, yeah, getting healthy, getting strength, getting mental clarity in the first place, at least that, in order not to harm other people. When I learned that, maybe I would be able to develop myself as well. Right now, that's the point for me. I'm not practicing anything of breatharian. I have not a goal to advance in that direction. But I also don't have any um, attraction, any like in attracting myself. So the more I think about the time I live here right now on Earth, the more I understand that the decision is very clear for me. And the question is not about life without food or a standing of consciousness. For me, it is about being truth with myself in the first place. And yeah, I'm interested in the human potential, and I see many things as possible. And as on myself, I'm interested to prove to try out life without food, because I can save a lot of time with it, and I have energy with it, and I know this all out of experience already. So this is kind of a bonus. So I don't have any further way, but I also don't have any path back. I cannot go back. I don't want to go back. Um, I mean, let's see. For right now, yeah, for right now, that's the best answer I can give. I hope I have saved myself a little bit. Can see the full painting on your back, please. You want to see this painting here. All right. This is an old painting. Okay. I'm not seeing Naida here right now on the screen, but I just want to use the last 5 minutes to tell everyone that it is incredibly beautiful what we can imagine and create right now together. So the possibilities which are opening themselves to us right now here on Earth, to myself, they go along with frightening scenarios. And out of experience, I want to say that these frightening scenarios, they are the needed challenge in order to turn this material into a reward. And the reward is coming anyway, but you have to participate in it to get this, so to create it, to support, to tune into it. And so I want to say, don't be afraid, and learn to be courageous, learn to go into this condition of creating the light. Let's put it like this. Yeah, if you are interested to create some works of art that you like to connect, like with any topics that are on your mind, like health, education, or anything else, feel free to connect with me. I would suggest you then, possible schedule kind of and a result right away, like for instance a book, a video, or anything else. And then we would create it together, but essentially you would create it also by yourself. So in the end, you would have this work of art that is supporting you on your further journey, containing all the important information which you need on, may be interested on your further journey. And therefore, yeah, that's my way right now of supporting people, learning different skills, learning different actions, and then connecting people with each other, and then turning the world upside down with it. want to spam the last few minutes here with advertisement about myself, but yeah, you are welcome. So if you have any questions, just any question, ask me right away. I will try to give a short answer. As I said, I know all the topics which are discussed here in and out. I can speak physiologically, energologically, traditionally. Otherwise, yeah, what can I tell more? Yeah, thank you, Nicholas. Thank you, all the translators. Actually, I myself am a translator, but now I have been hosting here. And thank you, all the people who are participating and making it all necessary and useful. Yes.